What's up, YouTube family? We're back with another crazy one, and today we're literally going to be breaking down every single trade. And of course, we actually did smash the flip target for the week, right? So if you're practically new to this YouTube channel, don't forget to like and subscribe, and then click on the link in this particular video description to be part of our free Telegram community, right? And don't forget to stick to the end of this video so that you can actually see how we were able to take a 500 to almost 10K in just one particular setup, right? So let's hit to the chart. So firstly, I'm actually going to be showing you the trade stack and every single trade taken in the community, right, and how it looks like in real time. So this is literally our free Telegram community, right, and this is where we literally did call the trade levels on BTC, right. So we actually did call sell right here, and then we actually did have price before and after, right. So this is literally what we call this buy to sell, right, and then this is literally price expansion all the way to the upside, tapping into our sell level. So we literally did have the first entries or the first set of entries, which was literally a 500, and we actually did smash over 1K in profit, right? And of course, these were literally the entries we actually did have on the chart, and we were able to smash over 1,700 USD plus on the sales, right? And of course, if you're literally looking to be part of our copy trading system, right? You can literally send us a message or send me a message right there on Telegram, right? And that is it. So the trade was literally taking a copy as also, and the trade literally did reflect on the accounts connected to mine. So this is also where we actually did close the first entry on over 2,700 USD, and this is literally the entries of the chart right here. Okay. And then we also did have a re-entry, right, which was taking 2,000 USD plus over to 6,000, right? And this was literally the entry of the 1 minute time frame. So we are literally going to break down every single entry and how we were able to capitalize on this and how you can also be able to do things like this, right? So we actually did finally did close on 9,000 USD plus, right? Of BTC short, and this is literally the entry based off the previous slide, right? So we actually did have this entry, zero drawdown, and then price actually this expand all the way to the downside. So this is literally the second entry, right? As you can see, this was literally a weak entry, and I'm literally going to break down how you can do this. So firstly, this is a setup which I have literally been talking about over and over in the community and also in my free Telegram, my free YouTube videos, right? I've always been talking about how you can do this and how you can literally replicate this. So we're literally going to start with breaking down how you can actually how you can actually do this in real time and how you can actually approach the market, right? So all right, the first thing which we actually do have in price is the presence of a daily engulfing candle. And based on what we've actually said so far in the entire videos, right? We always do say the first step to every single flip is identifying a valid engulfing candle, right? Because you actually know that bullish pressure, bearish pressure in the marketplace can be seen with a bullish engulfing candle presence, right? The presence of an engulfing candle can literally can literally signify the presence of buyers or sellers in the market, right? And we are literally not looking to trade off this blindly. We actually want to um, use this as a premise for a foundational bias in the market, right? So we actually do have the presence of a bearish engulfing candle right here, and or we compare to scaled down all the way to the 4 hour. So we actually did have a buy on Sunday, right? Which we actually did run up a flip, but that is for another day, but for today, we actually did see the presence of a bearish engulfing candle. And we know for a very short fact that a bearish engulfing candle actually confirms the presence of a support or resistance level. And we are not literally talking about the traditional support or resistance, right? And before we continue, right, if you're particularly new to this particular YouTube channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you also want to be part of our free Telegram community, don't forget to click on the link in this particular video description to be part of our free Telegram community. Now, the presence of an engulfing candle always confirms the presence of support and resistance, right? And when we talk about support and resistance, we look at this in form of patterns, right? So right here, we actually do have the presence of what we call a blind spot, right? And if you're practically looking up what a blind spot is, right? So we actually have a blind spot to be the presence of a key level. So this is what we look at, right, with respect to a blind spot. Now, this can literally just be support and resistance for you all, but we actually have to look at the specifics and what literally makes it stand out from every other one, right? So this is it. You actually have price give you higher high and higher low, right? Give you higher high and then higher low, and then this particular structure, right? Now, this is a typical break and retest, as you all can see, or you all know, right? This is literally a typical break and retest, and we all know for a very short fact that if you are practically a newbie or let's say an advanced trader, right? You actually want to buy from area of support or literally area of resistance in the marketplace. I actually have to like generalize this because every single thing works in respect to price finding support you literally want to buy, and then price finding resistance you literally want to sell, right? But in this particular case, I always do say you actually want to like sell, buy from areas of resistance and sell from areas of resistance, right? Because price is literally finding resistance to either move to the upside or move to the downside. So this is literally a typical break, and then price is to like retest this and then continue all the way to the upside. Now, literally every single trader out there literally can play this particular pattern, right? But in respect to precision, or if you actually want to look at the dynamics of what makes this stand out, right? You actually want to make sure that there is a presence of an engulfing candle right here, okay? So you actually want to make sure that this particular level, which is where we anticipate price to run into, right? You actually want to make sure price gives you the presence of a bearish engulfing candle, right? So this is practically a key level right here. And since this is literally a buying scenario, right? You actually want to see the presence of a bearish engulfing candle, right? So remember, a bearish engulfing candle signifies the presence of buyers, of sellers in the market, right? So in this particular case, this is literally what you actually want to see price give you the presence of a bearish engulfing candle that failed to hold all the way to the downside, and then price is literally giving you a retest, right? So this is the real high value area. This is literally the real high value area where you actually want to buy or sell. So let's take a look at the chart right here. We actually do see the presence of this level, right? This is practically a resistance level to price, and we can see that price actually did what? Create this failed engulfing candle. And all you literally need to do is to map out the body of this particular candle, right? We actually wait for the precise entry. So this is it. Price is always going to give you just a tap into the body of the candlestick, right? And this is literally what makes it different. This is literally what makes this stand out. You literally don't need to like worry or get worried about making use of the entire zones, right? You actually will get just one particular tap reversal, and that is it. And this is why we cherish precision above every other thing, right? You actually want to make sure you pinpoint where the reversal is literally happening from with a very precise prediction, right? Or analytics. You actually want to make sure that every single thing you're doing in the marketplace is literally putting you way ahead of 90%, and then making sure that you are literally like having it happening all the way to the T, right? So for this particular scenario right here, we actually do have this. I believe this actually did explain it a little bit, right? So bearish engulfing candle right here, bearish engulfing candle right here. Price is going to give you a tap rejection when it comes in contact with the body of the bearish engulfing candle. Let's say with the high of the bearish engulfing candle, right? And this particular scenario, you actually want to see the presence of a bullish engulfing candle, which is literally the scenario which we are literally going to be explaining right now. So right here, we actually do see that this is a blind spot. So we call this a blind spot instead of just a typical support and resistance, right? Well, you can literally call this support and resistance. All right, so this is practically the same thing we're talking about, right? So this is practically a bullish engulfing candle that fueled support price all the way to the upside, and we did see price expansion all the way to the downside. So this is literally price tapping into this body, right? Now, since we are practically trading off the daily, we have been able to like pinpoint the SNL level or the support and resistance level present. So we are literally see that there might be a potential resistance to price movement to the upside, right? Now, after doing this, we actually want to make sure we are going to pinpoint just an accurate reversal point, right? Using the easiest approach that would literally complicate things. So we actually will implement the use of supply or demand, right? So I can literally scale down easily to the presence of the 30 minutes, right? And if you actually want to like use the 30 minutes, we can literally just look out for the push to the downside. I made a clean structural lower low, lower high, right? So this is where we actually did have the level. And if we take a look at where we actually did have a typical lower high, we did see that this was a clean push all the way to the downside, right? This is not a clean push. This is literally a cleaner push, right? This actually did originate the entire push all the way to the downside. So I'm literally going to give you this easy, instead of like trying to like go deeper into how I trade so that you can be able to like incorporate this into how you trade, right? So this is literally the presence of a 30-minute supply. And here we go, right? Price came back into this. I might not necessarily be compared to take my entry of this particular point, but if you're practically new to this particular YouTube channel, don't forget to click on the link in this particular video description to the free Telegram community where all of this are being sent in, right? So right now, price actually comes into this. Price actually comes in contact into this with this, right? I would actually avoid taking my entries immediately at this point for the sake of precision. I literally want to be able to like catch precise entries with little to no drawdown, right? So all I literally have to do is easy, right? Now, all I literally have to do is wait for continuation setups. Now, continuation setups will make sure that you stay on the right side of the market, and you literally have your risks in the market being so low, and you literally having little to no exposure to catching a falling knife, or let's say trying to like short when the market is still pretty much very bullish, right? So how we were able to like scale through this, right? And remember the first entry we actually did have posted right down the free Telegram community. This is it. You can literally see this, right? You can literally see where the entry was right here. Okay, we literally did see where the entry was right here, and the second entry was literally taken right at this particular point. So I'm literally going to show you the first point of entry, right? So here we go. Now the first point of entry was literally up the same thing. So right here, we actually do see that price makes a clean push to the downside, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? And we actually have the presence of a supply, right? And for a particular supply to be pretty much very valid, you actually want to make sure that it revolves around the same concept and engulfing candle. So if you are literally new to supply and demand, always make sure that your supply or demand levels are always engulfing candles, right? Because they literally show the presence of impulsive buyers or impulsive sellers in the market. So this right here is a bullish engulfing candle, hence it's a bearish engulfing candle, right? But since it's practically a failed one, we actually want to like have a typical break and retest, right? So this is practically a bullish engulfing candle that failed, and we actually did see price engulf this impulsively, right? So we actually do map this out right now, and price actually did tap into this, right? Price actually did tap into this, and entry was taken right here in an aggressive way, and then price started running all the way to the downside, and we did add an entry right here. Hence, we are able to like take a 500 to over 2,800 USD plus, right? And we actually did have the secondary entry, which is literally pretty much the same thing which we're talking about, right? So we did see price actually drop all the way to the downside, smashed our TP, right? And we actually did see a significant retracement all the way to the upside. Same thing actually happened right here. We did see the same thing coming right here. Bullish engulfing candle price closed aggressively below it, right? Hence, this particular engulfing candle is literally, or this field engulfing candle is literally our premise for buying or selling, right? But in this particular case, we actually want to sell. So entry was meant to be taken at this particular point, and as you can see, there was literally a quick expansion all the way to the downside. And right here, we actually did see a quick expansion all the way to the downside still, right? Hence, we actually did take our entry at this particular point. This was a costly entry, and price actually did drop all the way impulsively, right? But now we actually did have the original entry. This is where our original entry was meant to be, right? But we actually did catch it all around this particular point, and then boom, price expanded all the way to the downside. So this is literally an easy peasy. And if you're literally looking to like, you know how to like do this, right? There are literally videos upon videos on how I actually do trade right there in my free YouTube community, right? So as I did say, if you're particularly new to this particular YouTube channel, don't forget to like and subscribe and click on the link in this particular video description to be part of our free Telegram community. See you guys on the next slide, and we still like continue with the next flip. We'll talk about how to like do this over and over again until you grasp how easy it is to like do this.